And our special guest for the morning, ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Mr. Dave Spikey. Welcome back.
How are you?
Now, the Phoenix Night Star is taking his hilarious live show, Best Medicine, back on the road later this month for a repeat prescription. And you at home can ask him just about anything, or indeed about the tour or anything else in his life over the next 15 minutes or so, as we're not going to be doing the papers till after the break. 0207 173 5555 is the number to dial if you'd like a word with Mr. Spikey. I do apologise to everybody who's phoned up so far that we haven't managed to put through. We'll see if we can do a bit better today. And what is the Best Medicine show all about?
Well, I worked in the health service for 30 years, so there's that angle. It's my experience of the health service. I've sort of excluded that from previous tours because I thought it was perhaps too inclusive and only hospital workers would get it. But the more I've been a patient recently in hospital and seen it from the other side, and so I present both arguments now for and against, and because hospitals are weird places.
They are very weird.
They're in the middle of our communities, and they do a fantastic job, obviously. But as soon as you walk in, it's like going abroad. It's like an alien country. They've got a different language, different signs, different way of speaking, and just different smells.
Different smells.
And the smells, and it's an intimidating place to some people. All the signs never send you in the right direction. I saw a sign the other day. I don't know if we can do this actually, but it was a sign in a hospital that said "Family planning advice: use the rear entrance." And I don't know. But it's all that.
It works.
But I worked at the Royal Bolton Hospital that had a sign on the gates that as you drove in said, "Warning, this hospital has guard dogs operating." And you think, well, yeah, I know what you mean, but you just imagine two Alsatians and scalpel. I'm having this bone afterwards.
What did you do?
I was a biomedical scientist for 30 years. I ended up being chief biomedical scientist in charge of the haematology lab.
What was your specialist subject on Mastermind again? What was your specialist subject on Mastermind again?
Human blood, Matthew.
Yeah. Amazing, that.
So it's that. It's all... and I've been a patient recently and seen it from the other side, how frustrating it is, and being admitted and that whole tediousness of sitting in outpatients for 4 hours, and then a stupid nurse. Sorry, I know most of them are angels, but stupid nurse taking all your details.
Can you still say angels about nurses? I don't know if is that religious.
Oh, we'll get on to that. We'll get on to that, yeah. And you know, getting to the end and saying, well, have you got any allergies? Because before I put you the red bracelet on, and I went, well, I'm allergic to penicillin, and she went, well, that's a good one. Well, thanks. Thanks. And I said, I don't know if it's relevant, but wasps. And she went, wasps? Do you mean when they sting you? And I said, no, when I stroke them, it's a rash.
It doesn't really need saying, but if you haven't seen Dave live and haven't seen how funny he is, here's a little taste of what you can expect. It's quite hard getting clips from that DVD on TV.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm afraid, yeah.
Quite fruity, the language.
Well, I've sort of I've mellowed over the years. That was my first tour, actually.
Is that right?
This is my third, so I've taken heed of that. Of my mum, basically.
Now, it was quite a long time. I think back in the mid-90s, you won a stand-up comedy competition, didn't you?
I won the Northwest Comedian of the Year thing, which is still going and still was prestigious. I mean, Steve Coogan won it, Caroline Aherne won it, and I won that in early 90s, yeah.
And someone told me there's a cannon and ball story or something connected to this.
Well, no, not really. No, it's all really. But yeah, well done.
Someone's got to
just immediately laugh. Just cannon and ball.
Yeah.
They'll be thrilled.
First time in 20 years.
No, the story there, I think, really is that I'd only just started doing stand-up. I worked at the hospital and I'd only done, like, talent shows. I'd never even had a paid gig. And I got a phone call on a Sunday night that said, can you get to Blackpool in half an hour? Cannon and Ball are doing the Opera House, which is it's the biggest theatre in Europe. It's 3,000 seats. And the compere's not showed, and can you go and compere that show? And obviously they picked me because I live near Blackpool. I'm 20 minutes away. And everybody else is obviously booked up at such short notice. And so they asked me to go and do it, and I went and did it like 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later. I'm still in the wings, and Cannon and Ball's manager is saying, well, you go on, do 10 minutes, get the illusionist on, then you come back off, then you get Linda Lewis on, Rock-a-doodle-doo, all that. And then you get Alan Stewart, the impressionist, on, then you get... And I just went on, and because it happened so quickly, it was just
a blur.
And I must have done all right, because they sort of kept me on for the whole tour then. And then there was a week where I was doing Cannon and Ball on the Sunday, and I did Max Boyce. Remember Max Boyce?
Yeah.
On the Monday. And then I was with Jack Dee on the Thursday, and Lee Evans on the... I thought, hang on a minute. Things have got a bit serious. I seem to have done quite well at this.
Was it a wrench giving up the health work, the blood?
Not really, because, you know, as we keep reading in the papers, and we might touch on today, by the time I left, I'd done so well that they put me in an office with paperwork. You know, I had all these areas of expertise. Like, I specialised in genetic abnormalities of haemoglobin, which was like sickle cell disease and thalassemia and things like that. And I never got time to do it. I was in my office doing standard operating procedures, cost risk assessments, health and safety, personal development plans. Have you ever had to do, they teach you, probably have to do personal development plans. You get your staff in and go, and where do you see yourself in the future? And they go,
I'm glad they do it too.
in the pub. Yeah. And then I got to that crossroads where I wasn't enjoying it anymore, and it just naturally dovetailed in the comedy. So I was sort of getting successful at that, and it just wasn't a wrench, really.
And how did Phoenix Nights come about?
Well, because I met Peter at the Northwest Comedian of the Year. I was hosting a subsequent event, and Peter was in it, Johnny Vegas was in it. It was a great night, and Peter won it. And because he was from Bolton and he lived just around the corner from the hospital, and we hit it off really quite well, we just started immediately writing together. And then we wrote That Peter Kay Thing, which was a series of one-offs, one of which was in the club. And when Channel 4 said pick one to develop, we picked that one because it was the obvious one to pick, with the characters and the situation of the club and people being able to... different people arriving every week, and acts and music and all that.
We have such a wonderful clip. I mean, it's a very well-known bit, and I hope we can get away with it on daytime telly. Have a check of this. Check it out. During that brilliantly funny clip, today the editor of the show whispers in my ear and he says, I don't know whether you're going to be putting any calls through today. The first bloke that phoned up says, it's Dave Spikey from London.
I've come all the way up from Charlotte. I love you, Noel. Do you know what, with this snow, I mean, it's been bad down here, on the way down. I just wish I put my money in grit. Do you know? They've run out of grit. The country's run out. How do you run out of grit? How do you do it?
Let's see if we can get a better quality question from our audience.
Well, I'm with Graham. He should be in the maternity ward, but he's with us now in the right stuff. So what's your question?
I was going to say, Dave, you're a wonderful, talented comedian. I'm a great fan of yours.
Both coming, isn't there?
But will there be any more Phoenix Nights at all?
No, there won't. I don't think so. I think you can leave it too long. I think, you know, you do your 2 series and then it's been like... It was 2003, so I think you've just got to say, well, that was great. And now, I would, at the time, I think, yeah, we should have done a 3rd series, but for one reason or other, Peter wanted to do Max and Paddy, and they went off, and we sort of thought they might come back, but they never did. And then you move on, don't you?
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great show.
I mean, I did think that a Christmas special would work. You could do a Christmas special. Yeah. Christmas at the Phoenix, a bit.
Well, let's hope you do.
Special one.
Best of luck with it.
Yeah. Dave, is it true that
yeah.
Is it true that you had a budgie called Footy?
Sooty,
OK. Did you give it a nervous breakdown?
I did a bad thing with this. My wife doesn't really know this.
No, you had a budget called Sooty?
Yeah.
You know how much trouble you're going to get into there.
The story behind Sooty is he was Sooty the 8th because my granny, when I was a kid, my gran had a budgie called Sooty, and every time subsequent Sooties throughout the dynasty have all inherited the Sooty name. So, I never thought of that. But,
so that guy who played polo was named after your budgie. Now it makes sense.
But you see, my wife thinks that Sooty has had a nervous breakdown because he won't go up his ladder. Or she thinks he's got some, like, vertigo or something like that. He won't go up his ladder on his perch anymore, you know. He just will not. He just stands about in the bottom of his cage. That's all he does. And she thinks he's got... I don't know. Anyway, I know he's had a nervous breakdown because I gave it him. I came home the other night and I was watching football on the television, and he was just tweeting. You know they do? And it just got on my nerves, really on my nerves. And all right, I've had a couple of drinks. But it's 0-0. We're getting towards, like, extra time. And it's getting quite tense, and I can't concentrate. So I thought, I'll let him out of his cage for a bit of a fly around. Because they love that, budgies, don't they, a bit of fly around. But they fly into the mirror, don't they? Why don't they try and avoid the budgie that's flying at them? So, anyway, he starts dive bombing me head because he thinks that's funny. But it's going to penalties now, and I'm like, I've had enough of this. So I got hold of him, and we've got this globe of the world in our house. And I just spun it round and held him over it, like that, for a bit. And he must have freaked out and gone, I'm too high! I'm really too high! Who've I got up here? And it's really affected him, and he won't go up his ladder anymore.
It's a bit of a theme, because I know there's a great hamster story around as well, which is...
we've got a hamster called Hammy. And,
good name.
It's not Hammy. It's not Hammy. Hammy disappeared in a hoovering accident of mine. So I went and got another one, but nobody's noticed.
Was it a Dyson?
Was it? Yeah, it was...
Could you see it running around, like, those things that you buy?
It wasn't. It was one of them really heavy-duty metal things, them old-fashioned I don't
Did
know.
it make a noise when he went up?
Yeah.
Gail?
Oh, I'm just asking.
Just because your daughter's not in, suddenly.
Oh, dear,
Yeah.
dear. Terrible man,
I'm a bad
terrible
person,
man.
yeah.
I just reminded when you were just saying about the city thing, you know, yesterday Ainsley made that thing about the corner shop.
Oh, yeah.
I got a call from some Fleet Street hack saying, is it true you've had 32 complaints to Ofcom about Ainsley's comment? And everyone's sort of dying to jump on board, but no, it isn't true as far as I know. Maybe.
All right.
Now,
If it was 32, that'd just be the members of close family. Saying we've got 3 shops, we've got a shop, 3.
listen, great to have you here. What a joy. Great to have you with us as well. Let's tell you about today's show. It's going to, well, after the break, we're going to be looking at the headlines. Dave will lead us through those.